The fish room has been shut down. The entire fish room is for sale. This is definitely the right call for me currently. Once I had to catch the breeding pair of white calvus, that really hit. G'day guys, Jason here. Welcome back to my fish room. So as you can see, the fish room is empty. There's no fish in the tanks, there's no water, apart from this one I need to clean out. And the fish room has been shut down for a number of months. There's no real easy way to say this. There was just life just been getting so busy. I just couldn't keep up. And there's been a few changes to my life that are pretty exciting. I can't wait to start. And part of that process is selling off this entire fish room and shutting it down. So I've started that process. As you can see, all the fish have been sold off long ago. I've just really lacked the motivation and been kind of lost for words on how to tell you guys, my subscribers, about what has been happening with the fish room. And yeah, it's no real easy way to say it, but I just really lost interest in keeping the fish. It was just taking up so much time, and I really didn't want to do it anymore, to be brutally honest with you guys. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. It just was too much work for me with all the other things that I have to do. So I decided to shut it down. And the other thing is I'm going to be moving soon, so this all has to go. So it's all for sale. The entire fish room is for sale. I'm going to put in the description. You'll see all the equipment that's included. Absolutely, pretty much everything you see in this room is included in the sale. I would like to sell it to one person, if possible, and it's going to be for a very decent price. Basically, you're getting all the tanks. They're all drilled. All the tanks on this side and two of the 5-footers next to the camera are all drilled and connected to the sump. And all the plumbing is ready to go. All I'm going to do when I get a buyer is cut the backs of the plumbing off, and all the new buyer will need to do is PVC cement the plumbing back onto the bulkheads on the backs of these tanks, and they're ready to go. It took me months to set up that plumbing. One, for the designing of the plumbing, how I was going to make the system, and two, creating it, making it, gluing it all together, measuring it all up, buying all the components. It took a very long time. So you're going to be saving yourself a lot of time, a lot of hassle if you buy this system. You're going to really have a shortcut into making your small business, if that's what you want to do, running a fish room, getting your small business up and running real quick, smart. It's going to save you a number of months to get there. The other thing too is the stands. I built all these stands with my cousin and painted them all. All that's included with the price of selling this fish room. The heaters, all the return pumps. I've got 3 return pumps that ran the fish room, all the double-headed sponge filters, the air pump that pumped all these tanks. There's 33 tanks in this fish room. There's also an unused sump that I've never hooked up. All these tanks I was running individually on this side of the room. However, they are all drilled and ready to be connected to the sump. That's never been used. So the other thing that's included obviously is all the sand, water change drums, which currently have all the sand in them, the filter media for the sump, all the rocks. You're talking over 300 kilos of rocks, I believe. I've never really weighed them, but there are a lot of rocks in that are included in this as well. The lights, some of them work, some of them don't. Yeah, the water change pumps, so they just sit in the water change reservoirs. They're all ready to go, connected up. Just make your life easier when you're doing water changes. And yeah, it's all included in the price. It will save you so much time. If you were interested in purchasing a fish room that's ready to go, this is going to save you so much time and hassle, because the plumbing is already designed and made. It's cut up, it's all ready to go for you. All the tanks were made for me to these dimensions, so you don't have to wait for a tank manufacturer to build them for you. All the stands are all ready to go, and they're all painted. They all come with the styrofoam and the neoprene on this side. and they're all ready to go. This fish room is ready to be set up again for someone who is interested in running a fish room and really getting a head start in creating a small business. And yeah, so obviously, if you're interested in this, please send me an email to jasoncichlids@gmail.com. The email is in the description below. It's a very reasonable price, I believe. You'll probably be shocked at how cheap I'm making this, because I really want this to go quick. I've got a lot to do with this house in preparation for moving out. So moving all this out is going to get me one step closer to that. I am open to negotiation, of course, because this is a big part of my life, but I do need it gone. So yeah, I really can't believe I'm saying this, but yeah, I am selling the fish room. So if you're thinking of starting up a fish room and really want a head start, please send me an email and we'll talk price. Now, the big thing with this, obviously, you're going to need a truck and several trips to take all these tanks and stands with you. And you're going to need a few people. You're going to need a trolley dolly to carry these water change drums out. They're quite heavy because they got all the pool filter sand that I was using as substrate in these aquariums in them. There's 3 of those. And yeah, obviously the drums are included. Everything you need to run a fish room is included in this. The airline hose, I mean, it's cut to the dimensions of this room, but I'm sure you could make it work. There are 2 air pumps, clamps for the hoses, for the water changes, the lids of the tanks, everything. So as you can see, it is very, very neat. Most fish rooms you see, they'll have a hodgepodge of tanks with different sizes and different heights, and it kind of looks a little bit messy and cluttered. Because I got these tanks built to measurement except for these ones. I got these from a aquarium store that was shutting down. It's very neat looking, and it's not messy. Some of this will be a shock to some of you guys, but some of you guys might not be surprised at all because of the lack of content during 2024. I'm excited to start the new chapter in my life, and part of that process is getting rid of the fish room. So you might want to know, how did it feel to shut the fish room down? It felt really weird. It took 2 to 3 months to get rid of all the fish, to sell all the fish, catching them all up in as large a batch as I could, and taking them down to All Fish to You at Kingswood. Yeah, so I was very lucky that they were able to purchase all the fish in one go. I know a lot of you guys probably wanted to buy fish individually off me, but just to keep my sanity, I just felt it easier just to sell them to the one buyer, just rather than having all these different people purchasing separate lots of fish. Some of the fish were hard to part with, obviously. My pride and joy were my white calvus, my Altolamprologus calvus breeding pair. They did so well for me. Just that one pair paid off the fish room several times over with the amount of fry they provided me. So selling them, catching them out and bagging them up wasn't easy. And it felt weird, like it really hit then. Like I had done one trip already to Kingswood with a batch of fish, and it didn't really hit then because I still obviously had heaps of fish in the fish room after selling that first batch off. But once I had to catch the breeding pair of white calvus, that really hit. Selling my breeding colony of peppermint bristlenose, they were pretty much the first ones to go. Getting rid of the last fish was some normal bristlenose, and I gave them to one of my cousin Chris, who's also into breeding fish. And yeah, it felt strange. There was some fry, and that was it. And then I shut the fish room down, turning off the aircon, turning off the pumps, the air pump, the return pumps, and then silence. And yeah, it just felt weird. It's like there's nothing, there's no sound. I could hear the hum of the fish room in my lounge room because this fish room's attached to my house. And that was getting quite annoying, and you could hear the bubbling and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, it felt weird not having any sound in the house, but also nice at the same time. But yeah, it's done and I can't believe it, but I'm excited about the future, and this is definitely the right call for me currently. Would I set up a fish room again if circumstances change? Possibly. Would I have this many tanks? Maybe, I don't know. But it's been an adventure. I can't believe the channel has a couple thousand subscribers. That's crazy, especially when you watch the first video on the channel, me standing in this empty room showing the progress I made when I ripped up the floorboards in this room. The flooding that I had in here one year when we had torrential rain in Sydney. And then that same day that the fish room flooded from outside, not that the tanks flooded, my breeding pair of Neolamprologus tetracephalus spawned that same day, and I was ankle deep in water in this room that I had to pump out because my front yard had flooded. Luckily, the fish room is lower than the slab of the entire house, so my house didn't flood, which is good, obviously. Anyway, yeah, it felt weird with the power being shut off, but also good. And yeah, I might do it again in the future if circumstances do change, because I was making money. But yeah, I think I've blabbed on long enough for the people that want to hear how it felt. It's going to feel weird getting rid of all these tanks and seeing this room empty again. But yeah, it's going to be good.